I'm grateful that you could join the program. We are coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144 around the world at myjoyonline.com and on your digital TV because we are free to air. Now, a little over 2 years after investigator Ahmed Suale was killed by gunmen, no one has been charged, prosecuted or convicted for the offense. Mr. Suale, who worked closely with investigative journalist Anas Anas, was killed months after they had worked on a documentary on football corruption. Today on Total Recall, we put the spotlight on this unresolved murder.
Public on Tuesday viewed the much-anticipated number 12, Anas's latest investigation.
In June 2018, investigative journalist Anas Anas released his number 12 documentary. He filmed then GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi engaged in influence peddling.
When we get the contracts, big contracts, we can go back and give them more money. And then we take over the whole country.
Ahmed Suale, described as a colleague of Anas, is said to have been instrumental in this project. Shortly after its release, Anas and his colleague became victims of series of verbal attacks spearheaded by Saint Central MP Kennedy Japan. On the evening of January 16, 2019, Ahmed Suale was shot dead by unidentified gunmen riding motorbikes.
He shot him first gunshot before Ahmed moved the car, and then the second one. So Ahmed was rushing, so he used the car to enter that kiosk, that saloon over there. So he used the car to enter, and then the man went there again and gave him the last shot. So make it three gunshots. He followed him into the shot and gave him 3 gunshots. Ahmed was inside the car. So as he received that 2 gunshots, the car moved by force and then entered the shop over there. So the car spoiled the glass and everything over there.
He was laid to rest shortly after. There were loud calls for the perpetrators to be brought to book.
It is within the bounds of capacity of the Ghana police and the law and order community as a whole to fish out the perpetrators and bring them to book. They have a track record of dealing with such matters.
The calls received presidential backing.
I am deeply regretful that despite the best efforts of the police, the perpetrators of the murder of Ahmed Suale are still at large. But I assure you, this dossier will not be closed until they are brought to justice.
Then Director General of Police Public Affairs, ACP David Eklu, gave this update.
Found that the 15,000 CD bounty has been placed on any information that would aid in arresting the suspects. Eyewitnesses have been interviewed, and as I speak now, 6 suspects have been arrested, questioned, and are currently on bail. In addition to that, 3 other persons that we believe may have information related to that murder have been questioned and have been given statement forms to give that statement to the police. They include the MP for Asin Central, Honorable Kennedy Japan, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, and Anas. They have all been given statement forms to give statements and return them to the police.
Fast forward to May 2021. No one has been charged for the murder.
There has been quite a number of unresolved murder cases. Key among them is the longer-standing Ahmed Suale matter. And indeed, there's a need for a resolution for that crime.
Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame demanded answers from the Ghana Police Service.
And indeed, there's a need for a resolution for that crime, because the resolution will actually even indicate the motive for the commission of the crime. Now it has become, it's gained currency that the person was was killed on account of the work that he was doing. That may necessarily not be the case. The person could have been murdered not really on account of his work. It could have been as a result of many other concerns or motives. But it can only be ascertained through a resolution of that crime.
IGP James Opombuenu gave this response.
On the Ahmed Suale case, some progress has been made in terms of actions on the part of police. It may not be prudent to put that out in the public domain. We've taken certain steps in terms of investigation, and I believe that's a step further than the normal things that we are doing. But for purpose of the investigation, to the sanctity of the investigation, we might not be able to put it out to the general public, so we will not mention it. But when we are alone, we'll be able to give the details on that.
Only justice will help heal the family of Suale of the pain that his death has brought them.
Please come forward. Please give us the answers that we need. Please help us find the people who did this.
For now, the matter remains one of the many unresolved cases that has left respected state figure like Mohammed Ibn Chambers and Sam Jonah troubled.
Security and rule of law. In these two particular categories, we have declined. Slow justice system and some high-profile deaths which have not really come out with any clear convictions.
What is baffling is that those who used to have voices on these things seem to have lost their voices. People speak on issues based on who is in power. It's a definite silence suggesting that we are no longer concerned about issues that we complained about yesterday. The molestation and, in some cases, assassination of journalists, murder of MPs, corruption, the harassment of agents.
Only time will tell when the matter will get some form of closure.
And that was today's edition of the Total Recall. My colleague Joseph Akable has been following this particular case and is here to update us. So, Joseph, where are we really in terms of prosecution? And has the police even given us a response in recent times to the stage at which they are?
So the latest on the matter is what we heard from the Inspector General of Police, indicating that investigation is still ongoing. And so, in a nutshell, we can say that it's not very different from the stage that we were sometime in 2019. And so it's just being at the same level and saying that investigation is ongoing. But the point that the police and our sources indicate is that it's at a level that they cannot disclose the specifics because of the potential to affect the work that is being done. But this is something that the family, they are not too excited about.
Indeed, and you spoke to the family. I'll be coming to get more details on that because, you know, yesterday was International Press Freedom Day, and we know the impact of this particular incident on Ghana's rankings over the years, and including many other issues that we heard Sir Sam Jonah talk about. But tell us, how has the family been doing? It's been 2 years.
It's very tough. I spoke to Mustafa Idris. He is a brother of Ahmed Suale, and he makes the point that, I mean, their main challenge now is that when the issue happened, they got the assurance from the police that they'll be giving regular updates. Now, they said in the last 2 years, anytime they ask for an update from the police, they get the same response. Investigations are ongoing. Investigations are ongoing. And they say that that cannot be an answer that will help them find some form of closure. Because Ahmed had a wife and he had a child, and there are people who are suffering from his death as a result of that particular incident. And so to them, what will give them closure is when they receive information that A, carried out the act because of B reasons, and that person has been charged with murder and is being prosecuted. And that is the stage that they hope that we get to, which we are unfortunately not there yet.
And Joseph, some have suggested that this response from the police may be due to the sensitive nature of the case, but you've been covering similar cases in court. What usually is the trend? And are there any examples that prove otherwise?
I mean, generally, you can understand what it means by the fact that, I mean, it's a sensitive matter. And the IGP did make the point that the information that they have, if they put out, it can compromise investigation. And so there are various levels of investigation. There are instances where they are looking for people you've had informants come in and name individuals, and if you put information out there, they can flee. And so we understand all of that. But the fact of the matter is that 2 years, and as a position that the family believes strongly in, is quite a long time for them. They believe that at this stage, there should have been, at least the information should have gotten to the level that some specific arrest warranting prosecution would have taken place. And that is the challenge for the family. They do not have any qualms with the police investigation. Their point really is that they think that if it was, in fact, in the interaction with Mr. Idris, he makes reference to the fact that he believes that had it been a member of the security services who had been affected in this particular instance, and he makes reference to some of the cases that we've dealt with in times past, he believes that the investigations could have gone a bit faster than it is currently. And so that is their concern for now.
Joseph Akablade giving us details of this total recall story we brought to you earlier.